Good morning, guys. We're all sparkly. Ice bath done. I've been to the gym. I've run the dogs. What next? Well, before we get onto that, what did I train at the gym? Well, I trained chest. Every teenager's favorite day, because they can see their chest. We all want good pecs. But what we should be working on really is our posterior chain. Why? Because we're upright. So if you work on your posterior chain, you will get a good chest, because your strongest muscle is your back, not your chest. And it's eccentric, concentric. You have to appreciate what balance and what's necessary for balance, contrast. So yeah, chest day today. But I do train more back, and hopefully it shows. Does it show? I can't see my back, but form and function, that's what it's all about now. It's not about PBs, it's about form and function. I do like training heavy. I can't get that out of my brain. But what do I do now? I concentrate more on my isometric tension, my rotator cuffs, my hip flexors, because I'm getting old. I'm 50. I'm wearing away. As my professor of orthopedics said, you're mentally strong, you're physically strong, but your joints are your joints. So you have to work on your weak bits, because working on your positive bits is easy, isn't it? But to be a well-rounded person, you need to work on your weaknesses. Now the gym. I train at Pure Gym. I love Pure Gym because there's no aggro. There's lots of equipment, and I put my headphones on and I listen to The Prodigy, some old school rave or some heavy metal to get myself in the mood. But I look around at the kids, all flexing, all sat there on their phones, not doing anything. It's soul destroying, but what does it do? It motivates me. It motivates me to work harder, to lead by example. And again, testosterone allows you to put the effort in to get the reward, understanding that the actual reward is the effort. So these kids, I feel sorry for them because they've grown up with that phone there and they're addicted, much like I'm addicted. But when we went to Greenland, we didn't have phones. We didn't have any distraction, and it was utterly amazing being 100% in the moment. So these kids on their phones, they're not going to get what they want because they're not in the moment, and the moment's all that matters. So it motivates me. Now, what else motivates me? Negativity. Yeah, being called a chunky monkey by Lydia. I'm going to prove her wrong and become a lean, mean fighting machine. So the first time I became lean and mean was at medical school. I took my top off in the surgical changing rooms and my mate laughed. He said, "You're a bit of a pear." And I was like, right, I'm going to prove you wrong. So yeah, I trained, I ate right. You can't out-exercise a bad diet. That is number one. I slept right? No, I didn't. I was at university. I was partying hard. But I was working all week to party hard at the weekend. But did it do me any harm? Yeah, of course it did. Because everything that you did before that was negative will have a negative outcome, because it's negative. So what should we be doing now? Well, we should learn from our mistakes and start making positive steps and positively reinforcing those steps to crack on with being the best version of ourselves. But we're tempted by temptation, aren't we? And this naughty temptation is always the path of least resistance, maximum reward. So when it comes to that, what you actually have to do is congratulate yourself in not engaging in negative behaviors, because they're everywhere. And we're seduced by the negative behaviors because we get our reward, not realizing that what effort is our reward. So it's very simple to understand if you take a step back and have a considered approach. Now, we talk about testosterone being the calming hormone, the counterbalance to cortisol. And we spoke about that pyramid, didn't we? Hormones, nerves, brain, and consciousness surrounding it. But it's not just a calming hormone. It helps you build resilience. Now, does it do it by just its very nature of testosterone being an anabolic hormone, so resilience, strength? No, you have to work to become resilient. So it's much like ice baths. Ice baths are priming your nervous system. You're controlling your breath. You are becoming a more effective human being by putting the practices in place that you need to put in place to be a more effective human being. So if you prime yourself, what's that going to do? Yeah, it's going to give you the potential to react even more effectively and appropriately to a stressor that's outside of your control. Now we go about, I'm the master of my destiny, I'm in control. You'll realize that you're not in control, but what you can control is your reaction. So I believe that we are one consciousness, experience itself subjectively, much like Bill Hicks. What an inspiration he was, apart from the smoking and drinking. But yeah, you know, nobody's perfect. And we're all striving to be a better version of ourselves. So yeah, it's all about being the best version of yourself, but priming yourself constantly. Because if you don't do anything, you're not going to achieve anything. And as we said before, movement is life, and the effort that you apply, the determined effort that you apply, will make you a better, more effective human being. You will be positively reinforced for your behaviors. So when something negative happens or something dramatic happens, you have less of a dramatic reaction because you're already primed. So breath work, ice baths, sauna, becoming a massive fan of sauna, especially at the end of the day, because when you go to sleep, what happens? Well, your temperature drops. So if you have a good sauna, that's going to help your temperature drop, obviously. Now, my saunas are hot. I go in, I have to get out, I go back in, I get out, and then I sit in the ice bath for as long as I can. I'm close to passing out because I love the adversity. The adversity gives me that satisfaction. I know what the outcome is. The outcome is an improved body, an improved mind, and I want to work on that because I've not worked on that sometimes. I've actually taken the path of least resistance, maximum reward, much like everybody else. So when you see all these guys on the internet with their perfect lives, nobody's life is perfect. If somebody's life is perfect on the internet, it's likely that it's far from perfect in real life. Because it's about what? Yin yang. It's about humility, empathy, about being kind. So what am I going to do now? Well, a member of staff has called in sick. A member of my clinical admin staff. So what's it got to do with me? I'm a clinician and it's my day off. Well, Lydia's going to go into work to cover the shortfall. So I'm going to go to Mark Bennett's and buy a whole load of cakes. Yes, we should always have a low carb, high fat diet. Well, come on. I'm going to give them some cakes as a reward. Yeah, reward poison, sugar. That doesn't make any sense. Listen, every once in a while you have to indulge. Because what happens? It reminds you why you shouldn't indulge. So as it says, all of these negative things that are out there, do try to avoid them and pat yourself on your back for avoiding them. But you have to treat yourself every once in a while. And it's a weird thing, isn't it? Humans, we have to go to that place to remind us why we shouldn't go to that place. How peculiar. But it is what it is. So if you are 90% on an even keel and every once in a while you let things loose, that's okay. As long as everything that you do is considered. Everything that you should do is considered and not reactive. So if you're priming your body, you are going to be able to be considered as opposed to reactive and make better decisions. We're all walking wounded. We know that. We're all trying to be better than our previous selves. And if you're not, you're in real trouble. So what's it all about? Yeah, you guessed it. Go earn your reward.